All right, we are doing 4-4, and this is your warm-up. You can do this, so just remember that it's y over x, and you need to find r, and then you can find the rest of the trig functions. We are starting the law of cosines, so we are going to start today by you can use the law of cosines to find either angles or sides, and we're going to use it today to find side lengths. There's basically one formula that you can change around given whichever variables you know, but we need to remember how triangles are labeled in order for any of it to make sense. So if you have a triangle, remember that side lengths are lowercase letters, angles are uppercase letters, okay? And they're not arbitrarily labeled. If this is angle A, then side little a is across from it. If this is angle B, then side B is across from that, so on and so forth. So this is angle C, so side C is across from that angle. Once you realize that and you're careful whether or not you're using uppercase or lowercase letters, then we also need to understand the two sides and included angles and non-included angles. So if we're looking at side C and side A, those two sides come together to make angle B. Okay, so that means that side C and side A have the included angle B. Notice that none of those letters match because side B is across from angle B, so it's not touching it. So the two sides that form an angle do not share the same letter as that angle. So in order to use the law of cosines to find a missing side length, you need to be given two sides and the measure of the included angle, which basically means you need three letters that don't match. You need two side lengths and a non-included angle, two lowercase letters and an uppercase letter. And then you can use the law of cosines to find the third side length, which will match the angle that you know. So we're going to use our law of cosines as long as we're given, again, two sides and their included angle. And today it's not going to seem to make much difference because that's what you're going to be given. But in the future, we're going to have to decide which things we can use based on the information given to us. So we have to kind of get used to seeing what do we have, what can we use when we have that information. These are the three variations, but they're all the same idea. So if you're looking for side A, the law of cosines, you will put a squared on the left-hand side. Okay, so you're looking for side A, so you put a squared on the left. All of the numbers that you are going to know are going to fill in the right-hand side. So side B, side C, again B and C, and then the cosine of angle A, because you will know the two sides B and C and their included angle A. So B squared plus C squared minus 2BC cosine A. These are the exact same things, it's just if you're finding a different side length, but it's going to be easier for you just to understand the pattern. You add the two sides you know together, squared, and then subtract them, multiplied by 2, and the cosine of the given angle. So, in triangle ABC, side B, because you know it's a side because it's lowercase, is 7, side C is 5, and the measure of angle A is 45. So again, you know two sides and their included angle, and we are going to be looking for side A to the nearest tenth. So our formula is a squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2bc times the cosine of A. And we know all of those things. So b is 7, so 7 squared plus c, which is 5 squared, minus 2 times 7 times 5 times the cosine of our angle, which was 45. So all I did was plug in all the numbers I know into the right-hand side, and just be aware that that's going to give you a squared. So you can put that entire right-hand side into your calculator exactly how you see it. You do not have to do it piece by piece. You can put it in there just how you see it. When you do that, okay, you get a number that will give you a squared. So you put it all in your calculator at once, hit enter, but leave it in there because that's a squared. We need to know what a is. So then you do your second square root of your second answer to get a, and it's set to the nearest tenth. I believe when you do this, you're going to get 4.95. So the 5 will make the 9 a 10, which will actually give us 5.0. Make sure you put the 0.0 to show that you did round to the nearest tenth. It just came out evenly. And then your side A is 5. All right, in a parallelogram, the lengths of two adjacent sides are 7 and 12. So two sides next to each other, 7 and 12. And the measure of their included angle is 120 degrees. Okay, so we know two sides and an included angle. If you look at a parallelogram, it's just made of two different triangles, so we can easily apply the same rules to a half of a parallelogram as we do to a triangle. It says find the length of the longer diagonal to the nearest tenth. So in this case, I'm looking for the diagonal, which is C. So we're going to use C squared equals A squared plus B squared minus 2 times A times B times the cosine of angle C, or your included angle. So we know that our sides are 7 and 12. So we use those for the A and the B. And then cosine of our included angle, and our included angle was 120 degrees. So you plug that into your calculator all at one time. So you're going to do 7 squared plus 12 squared minus 2 times 7 times 12 times the cosine of 120. And you're going to get 56 point something. That is C squared. You have to take the square root of that to get C by itself and round to the nearest tenth, which is going to be 7.5. And that's it. All right. Triangle DEF, find the missing side when you know the following information. So the fact that you have two lowercase letters and an uppercase letter that does not match means that you know two sides and their included angle. So if I know the measure of angle D, then I'm actually looking for side D this time. So I'm going to do D squared equals 7 squared plus 8 squared minus 2 times 7 times 8 times the cosine of angle 30. Put that in your calculator all at once, and then take the square root of that answer before you do any kind of rounding, and you should end up with 4.0. And that's it. 4.